of join there. I, I think we'll have intro before the call starts. We can start it like 8:05. We can play the intro. 2-3 minutes. We should have the intro in a minute or two.
All right, just testing a few things. Making sure everything works. This is fun. All right, can anybody hear me? Make sure that I'm audible. Just getting started, people. Doing a quick. Hey, there I am. All right. Cannot hear myself. Yeah, perfect. So you can hear me. I did not realize that. All right. Well, in today's Flash Hour, we're going to be getting into just the Flash overview, what we got done this week. Of course, we're going to be interviewing Devin from LoopScale and what's coming up next for Flash. We're going to pull in here. Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Max, you can hear me? You can hear me? Please say yes.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix my audio. Tell me when.
I think, yeah.
There we go.
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Zohair can also hear me. Perfect.
Yes. Now we got it working. All right. So getting into it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was saying I'm really missing the intro music here.
I
We
know.
need that music to kick it off.
Some
It's fine.
DJ
We'll
music.
just, yeah.
All right. So moving
State of the
into the
trenches.
state of the trenches here. Let's
What has been up?
markets.
The only thing that I know that has been up is Circle, and not the crypto markets.
You said Circle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Have you been
that's for
seeing
sure.
that?
Yes, you're talking about their what is it, IPO?
Yeah, I think it's currently at like 282, and I think the IPO was what, $20-ish?
Holy
Are
moly.
we in the wrong industry, sir?
Yeah, right. Oh man, it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. Phew. That and MicroStrategy. Well, the crypto market saw some volatility for sure. Bitcoin's prices dipped all the way down to 98,000. Thankfully, it reclaimed the 1015,
Yeah.
which doesn't break the market structure, which is the most important. Uh, Despite this, investors' confidence remained pretty strong, with crypto funds seeing about a 1.24 billion inflows. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty sizable.
I
Um,
heard I
yep.
heard this was
But
supposed to be a joyful June. What happened there?
yeah, no joyful June. Well, the beginning was great.
Insane.
Then
Yeah.
that
Too
took a slight downturn.
right.
But the other good things is Anthony Pompliano with ProCap Financial. They're also going to be moving into the Bitcoin, what is it, SPAC space with a deal of up to 1 billion in Bitcoin. Just highlighting the adoption. It's like the corporate treasury move that a lot of different companies have been honestly doing, and seeing some pretty significant growth out of it. So the geopolitical tensions, not to get political, but particularly the strike on the Iranian nuclear sites, and it's just added a lot of market volatility and overall, sentiment in the space. So, anything to add to that?
Nope. I've been on the other end. I've been seeing oil's price action and how Trump has been tweeting about oil. Very interesting to watch. Reminds me of, we listed oil this week on Flash. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, oil definitely spiked. We're seeing some pretty good APYs as well. On the
Yes.
Solana development side, the Solana space right now, it did dip down to 127, honestly holding up really good. With the overall market.
Yeah.
Not,
No,
not optimal, but it's already back at 135. So again, it's holding market structure really well. The Opnglow consensus upgrade aims to reduce the transaction finality to 100 to 150 milliseconds, potentially boosting those real-time applications, which everybody on Solana will significantly benefit from. The multiple firms, this is on the ETF side, filings with the decision expected in late July of this year, which could definitely expand investment opportunities and really spur the Solana space. So,
yeah. You have been following the price action pretty closely. I can tell someone is leverage trading.
yep, I do participate. Some days good, some days bad. That's for sure. The 90 billion financial services giant, it's Fiserv, launches the stablecoin platform on Solana, and this bodes really well for stablecoin adoption. Of course, thousands of banks are getting access to crypto via Solana because of that. Massive announcement. You've seen it all over the timeline. Mertz called it out. Totally, a lot of people have really called it out, but that's a pretty significant, news for specifically the Solana ecosystem. So yeah, that's the state of the trenches. Anything else that you had to add to that?
I see 3D in comments saying, "Sell in May, people sold on our heads." I'm not crying, Blur. You are crying.
Is it sell in June this time around? Hey, look at that.
You and I tweeted today. Sell in May, boyfriend or joyful June, girlfriend. What do you pick?
All right. Moving on to a flash overview. Let me bring in, let's see, what do we got? Oh no, I guess our flash overview here. Let's see. You had, what is it, 16 billion plus total volume. Our TVL has definitely increased 12.7 million in total. And then FLP1 price action and returns have been doing really well, especially with some of our partners, our integrated partners. So,
Right. I think the total staked FAF is at like 62% roughly, which is just unbelievable. At this point, like 62% of it is staked. And just to remind everyone, there is staking benefit, there's staking rewards, there is revenue sharing, and then there's additional fee discount and higher referral rebate as well.
yeah, overall, I mean, the system's working really well together. There's, if you get into Solana docs, you can see a lot of our partners are pulling out some really good returns with FLP.
Yep. And there has been a lot of VP integration as well. Like we'll get to that, I think, in the next slide. Who has been trading oil though? Anyone in the chat we have who is trading oil? Show up. Come on, Degens. Nope. So I see basically all Twitter comments here, right? On the comment section.
Sell in December. Yeah, I see it. Sell in December 2024? Question mark. Yeah. So what have we done this week? The major announcements are oil is now live. Revenue sharing is now live. There's been a pretty massive update. Let's see. Let me add in here.
Yeah, let's add up the boss to talk about it.
Yep. There he is.
Hello.
Yep. Interesting stuff.
Almost camouflaged with the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Right from our offices. It's been a hectic Monday overall with all the things
Do you
happening.
want to extend an invite to anyone who is nearby to come visit our team in the office?
Oh, yeah.
Anyone in Hyderabad or Dubai?
You should come first.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So,
So where's the state of Flash? We were just getting into what we've done this week.
Yep, a lot of stuff. I think oil got listed last week, followed by the revenue sharing that went live, and we are seeing good amount of value that is being accrued to the FAF stakers. I hope everyone are checking out the token page to see the dollar value go up by every 6 hours. And definitely the docs page, I am in love with it lately. And even I am trying to improve since Mags have taken the time to make it so much better. Yeah, we have it on the screen. So yeah,
I think Mags started at improving docs and hasn't just stopped.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped yet. Yeah. He keeps on pushing more PRs every day.
Yeah. Max, blink twice if you only want to work on improving docs.
We've had a lot of improvements here. Just a few things to go over that should help out a lot is that newcomers to the platform, they now have a getting started space with plenty of tutorials, explainers, and detailed text to make sure it goes through everything that they will need to get firmly onboarded into the Flash ecosystem, as well as our new partner section. So this is an ecosystem partner section where you'll see video explainers, as well as walkthroughs and benefits of using FLP with our partners. I call it the triple reward system, or triple threat. That's a really interesting read here. And essentially, it's the VP partnered with the protocols rewards, our partner protocol rewards, and then our revenue sharing. So you've got 3 ways there to really benefit from holding the FLP token, and that is FLP, not SFLP. SFLP is a different token that is staked, or you don't see it, but it's staked on our platform. So SFLP pays out daily in USDC rewards. FLP is our compounding token, which can be used with our partners across the ecosystem. So
Yep.
That's it for docs.
For sure. And I think the most interesting part is on the integration side. Lately, like every at least 10 days or so, we are seeing a new integration coming up. And definitely more steam in the engine to get more protocols integrating FLP and also building over Flash. So people, uh, if they don't know, we have an interesting, we have the whole documentation out for to interact with the on-chain programs and the SDK. And since the docs have been improved, I think you can also build over Flash in many ways and get more deal
Yeah.
flow through it.
We may or may not have a small hackathon planned.
Yeah. That's
You only
interesting.
heard it here.
Yeah, we're teasing through that opportunity because we do have a section in Flash Docs that does walk you through building on Flash. Since we are composable, and we do have a TypeScript SDK that is available for developers. You can find that here, clearly called out, and our Rust SDK. Is the Rust SDK fully built out now?
It depends basically what people want. If they want the pricing of FLP, we have that stuff, but it's still in the process. It's not fully built out because
Okay.
add things according to demand. Like we have other things to look at. So if there is more demand, then we'll definitely work on making it much more better.
Yeah,
But
yeah. TypeScript is very robust. You can find that, of course, all in our docs. All right, let's get back to the agenda. What do we have next? We have Flash LoopScale. So Anas, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you for a second. We're going to have to pull in Devin. There he is. Oh, let's unmute you.
Okay, there we go. How's it going?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
Things are good. It's just another beautiful Monday. Although it's starting to get really hot here in New York City, so saw a lot of miserable commuters this morning. But now it's nice and frosty in this office where I am.
I didn't want to tell you where I was. I'm in Sunshine State of Florida, so always beautiful and sunny here, except for when it rains, which is every day.
Yeah, no, I know it gets hot there, but you have air conditioning, and the only thing you really need to worry about are crocodiles, as far as I'm concerned.
That's true. It's a fact. You heard it here first. You got to worry about crocodiles in the state of Florida. I mean, I personally just wrangle them up. You know what I mean? Throw them in the back of the truck. But yeah, just a little bit about yourself. Spoken like a true Floridian. Just a little bit about yourself. I wanted you to intro and then, just give us an explainer of how you got to LoopScale and what you do there.
Absolutely. So my name is Devin, and I'm currently the head of marketing with LoopScale. I've been working with them since the very beginning of the year. And previously, I've worked in crypto since roughly 2019. So I've been in this space professionally for a while, all gas, no brakes. I think the most prominent thing I did before LoopScale was work with Centrifuge, which is a protocol that builds RWAs, and I would say pioneered a lot of the RWA technology and narrative that we see in the space now. So it gave me a lot of really valuable experience as a builder and operator and marketer in this space of DeFi, in particular focusing on lending and bringing in new kinds of assets and tokens to the DeFi ecosystem. Yeah, and I found LoopScale first as a user. I just thought it was a really cool product and a really cool way they're introducing order book based lending. So I was originally a user, and I think I maybe shilled my ref link back when it was still a closed beta, and the team there saw it and was like, "So you do marketing? You know, we need a marketing person. But let's talk." But I was really motivated by like the team's hustle, grit, the stuff they're building, the reasoning and mission behind what they're building and why. So that's why I decided to join up with the team, and now I'm here.
That's amazing. Yeah. So the really just to delve in straight away to flash trade. Actually, just a quick side note, this is totally tangent, but you just said how you were a user of the platform first. Actually, that's how it all started with Flash Trade. Now I'm the janitor here at Flash Trade. Yeah, so I was just basically a power user, built a little side project platform that integrated with Flash Trade and kind of gave traders the ability to more or less track their progress on with their trades, and as well as track some of the liquidity pools, stuff like that. Flash stats, if some are familiar in the audience. But and then later on, ended up joining the team after Anas and I spoke, and I met them in Singapore. So yeah, it's actually a very similar story as far as how. What's actually funny is I find this to be a very similar story across the ecosystem. I've seen a lot how team members meet somewhere, or maybe they build something out for the platform, and then eventually they end up actually being a team member. So pretty cool. I like to hear that, because it really means that you had a passion for it in the first place, and it wasn't just like a monetary gain. But
Exactly.
just a little question for you. I just got done. I caught the interview on, I think it was Talking Tokens with your co-founder, Mary. The interview is super interesting to me, and LoopScale's evolution from, I guess it was Bridge Split to LoopScale and what it is today. What are the key insights that made the team pivot to this lending and borrowing platform?
Absolutely. So some background on that is Mary and Luke, our co-founders, have been working in this space at this company since 2021, when it was originally called Bridge Split. And the seed round we raised was under Bridge Split. And the first things they built were focusing on fractionalizing and financing NFTs. If you remember back to the glory days of 2021, NFTs were very, very much like the forefront of the rise to LoopScale, which they pivoted and rebranded towards, I'd say, mid 2024, where they effectively kind of reworked a lot of the tech stack they'd built in years prior to create the lending protocol that we know as LoopScale today, to serve for addressing the challenges and opportunities that we see in crypto native lending markets. I say crypto native for now, but also the stack we built, if anything, can kind of go revert back to NFTs, tokenized real world assets, and things like that. So I'm excited to kind of touch on those points again later as we talk, but that's a TLDR on Bridge Split to LoopScale.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty amazing. So you're taking a holistic approach. In that same interview, she did touch on kind of some big moves: institutional adoption, RWAs, trade receivables. Paint us a picture of where is LoopScale headed in the next 12 to 18 months? And what does success look like for LoopScale and, as an overall?
I think we launched officially months ago, and the core is right now just sitting and building on our market and the native things. It's having users change, understand why our lending is so in the 12 months, we want to focus on onboarding the crew native options as we can. And the missions are for the set. Do we have time to audit for that or anything else we need to build, integrate in that set? And then we want to, make assets was or lose cattle set this things FLP from trade example. And you want to do this for anything in the Solana system and make it clear that it is assets coming from outside of Solana, that launch LoopScale plus a money market, users can immediately borrow off of your kit or
Hey, Dev, real quick. It looks like you're breaking up on us.
How am I now? I might touch my phone.
Let's see. Uh-oh. We're breaking up. The team just DM'd me and they were like, Dev's breaking up on us. You got us? All right. Well, it looks like we might have lost Devin for a second. We're going to pull that down. But overall, I mean, LoopScale integration has really been going well. We're going to bring Rockship back. There you go. Oh, no.
I think I just see Devin's message. He's back in the backstage.
Okay. There we go. We got him back.
Yep.
Nope.
Oops.
Let's see. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, sorry about that.
This is
technical difficulties, guys. It's our first time using StreamYard, so no worries.
I think that's all my fault. StreamYard is wonderful. The Wi-Fi here sometimes a little touchy, but good old 5G from the cell phone should get us through this.
You got it. Yeah. So you were leaving off with the where LoopScale sees itself in the next 12 to 18 months.
Cool. Yeah. So 12 months, onboard as much crypto, collateral, loops, assets, et cetera, as we can. One of the advantages of our infrastructure is you don't need to spin up a whole pool-based money market with a lot of liquidity to support an asset. So with something like FLP, for example, which we have supported on LoopScale for quite some time now, we just need an oracle, and we just need folks who are willing to accept that as collateral to lend to. So we want to be essentially like a blue chip platform where anyone launching on Solana or bringing their token to Solana wants to be on LoopScale, so they can unlock a money market for their asset. Now, looking beyond that, once we crack the code of crypto forward, DeFi, and so on and so forth, institutional adoption, real world assets, tokenizing things like trade receivables, are all things that we'd love to have supported on LoopScale, and our infrastructure is ready for that. So I would not paint any timelines because we don't know for sure. It could be longer or shorter.
Smart.
But I envision the 12 to 18 month area is exploring these longer tail assets like RWAs, things like private and public credit, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And then as far as the LoopScale platform, obviously what you guys have built can handle much more than it is handling today. And, the architecture in which you built can definitely onboard a large amount of capital. But what's today your core audience? What's the product that you're seeing the most traction with? And is the adoption, retail, degens, or more sophisticated capital?
Definitely. So I'll probably answer from the perspective of seeing a lot of conversations we have with our power users. I think some of our earliest users were those who could not find a lending protocol that would do what they wanted to do, which one example of that is users borrowing off of their Orca LP positions. So that's just a LP position for the Orca DEX represented as an NFT. And considering that it's an NFT and a LP token, which wasn't supported by lending protocols at the time. So a lot of like sophisticated users like that who felt they had a lot of capital locked up in a certain asset would come to us and be able to get liquidity borrowing off that asset. I think as we become generally more, retail facing, as you put it, the loops are very popular. It's a way to give people exposure to yield with a bit of leverage. I personally, not speaking for LoopScale, think that if you have the leverage bug, it's much safer to go for leverage yield rather than just 10x a directional bet on if Bitcoin will go up or down tomorrow.
Sure.
So we are kind of turning a lot of people to maybe not the dark side, but the more comfy side of, yes, you can explore leverage, but do it in something, it's like a yield bearing asset. Or you can even, get leverage exposure to a direction in the market with something like FLP. I think the main pool has a basket of major crypto assets and some stables, if I'm correct. We can do that, but also earn yields on top of that. So we're seeing a lot of popularity with that, with people of like all sorts of, accounts, all sorts of directives, what they're investing in. I think one more thing we're seeing a lot more traction in are users who simply just want to get a safe, consistent yield from our vault products. The Sol Vault for Solana, I think it's returning 10.7% right now. And that's largely because much of these loops entail borrowing Solana. And because the loops give, so much additional yield from the leverage, the loopers are generally less sensitive towards Sol borrower rates. So people who are lending their Solana for these are happy because of the high rates. People doing these loops are happy because they're able to get liquidity in Solana and in one click get leverage yield on an asset, like liquidity pools, Solana LSTs. Those have all been very popular and serve for that Sol yield for the more idle, kind of lower leverage users.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you have a portfolio, and a well-diversified portfolio has different risk levels. So, and that's what you guys are offering. And I would call it the flip side of the coin. There's traders out there, and then there's individuals who, they want a stable return on their investment, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. That's why FLP's there, and that's why LoopScale's there. Most DeFi users know a lot about Aave and Compound. What's the core problem LoopScale solves that these existing protocols missed, or why should someone switch to the LoopScale platform?
Certainly. So for anyone new to LoopScale, our big difference is that we operate on a order book model, and the core primitive of LoopScale is a loan between a lender and a borrower. In comparison, Aave and Compound use a pool-based model where there's essentially a pool that everyone supplies certain assets to, and you can borrow those assets from the pool. So on Aave and Compound, the pool's rates are determined by the utilization. So if, as more of the pool is borrowed, the rates go up to incentivize more supplying and less borrowing. On LoopScale, it's all based on the order book, much like on an exchange when you see the asks and the bids. On LoopScale, it's you have lenders willing to lend their assets at certain rates, and then borrowers will choose if they want to borrow at those rates that are on the market. So one big core advantage is our model is just much more capital efficient. If you go on Compound or Aave, you'll see there's always a spread between the borrower rate and the lend rate, which is there's not like a magical fee there or anything. It's just an efficiency. It's the fact that they need idle capital to run this pool model. Whereas on LoopScale, a lender lends for 10% on Solana, a borrower borrows at 10%. There's no capital inefficiency there. I think going back to what I said about the loan being the core primitive here, this means that we can have these loans have much more specific terms. So they have fixed rates, which means you lock in an interest rate for a fixed period, like 1 day, 7 days, 3 months. Looking deeper behind the scenes of the protocol, there's even things like what's the payment schedule, how do liquidations work. I think this is really important for when we talk about these longer tail assets like RWAs and in general, like what institutions will want when they have a money market on chain. One final thing I'll say, I mean, I could go on about this for ages, but the last big thing that's really important is we can do collateral specific pricing a lot more.
Yeah.
If you're borrowing against, USDT, like you're using USDT or USDC as collateral, you should be paying lower rates than if you're using Solana or even like a meme coin or something like that for your collateral, right? It's just less risky to have stables as collateral. So we found that these pool-based models don't really price risk in that way. They do like a one-size-fits-all approach for those assets in a market. And we do that differently, and we think that that's going to be the way moving forward, considering all the new assets that we have exploding in crypto today.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fixed rate lending. The being able to have those options and it being fixed is super powerful. That was one of the key things that I believe I pointed out in the video I made for you all, actually, with the FLP integration. But one of the things I wanted to get to, getting back to flash trade and FLP, is just like a real world practical example. If a flash trade user wants to get 10K worth of FLP, break down exactly what happens under the hood, and how might like what's the risk reward profile changes versus like holding FLP straight up just from our pool. What's the big considerations?
So a loop is effectively a way to leverage up your exposure to a yield bearing token. So in the case of FLP, I believe we have loops that will say like FLP, let's do FLP 0.2 as an example. I believe that's what we call the stables pool. It's also returning like 300% APY on 10x leverage, which is pretty sick. Although do watch your wind and unwind numbers there. There might be fees or slippage, but
sure.
That aside, like let's say that you deposit 10K worth of FLP.2 into the FLP.2/Sol loop. So what happens behind the scenes is LoopScale actually borrows some Solana with no collateral via a flash loan. Then this Solana that's borrowed is swapped for more FLP. This FLP is deposited again as collateral in LoopScale. More Solana is borrowed against this FLP collateral, and then that borrowed Solana repays the initial flash loan I talked about at the first. And if that seemed a bit confusing or you need to hear it again, it is in our documentation in the protocol concepts section for loops. But the cool thing about this is you can do this manually in a certain way, sure, but this is all done atomically. So if any part of that 5-step series I just said fails, then the whole thing reverts and you can assess what's going wrong from there. So, essentially at the end of the day, you're getting 2x, 3x, 4x of your notional position in FLP. And that's obviously going to yield more yield. The one thing that you have to kind of look at when you're doing this is a big part of this entails borrowing Solana. So this works and levers you up as long as the Solana borrow rate is not so high as to overcome what you're earning from FLP. I think that's the most important thing to consider here.
The biggest risk factor for sure. As far as flash trade and LoopScale is concerned, if you need to learn anything more about this, they have amazing documentation. It's actually where I myself was able to make the video. It guided and directed the documentation that is also in the flash updated docs for LoopScale and how it is integrated with FLP. Devin, I really appreciate your time. I know we had some connectivity issues, but I really appreciate you coming to Flash Hour, and I look forward to the future of Flash and LoopScale.
Likewise, I think you're great partners. It's great to see how well FLP works at LoopScale and to see you all believe in what we're building. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
See you.
All right. So as you can see, LoopScale is definitely one of a core pillar of FLP, especially one of our very proud partners, and we really appreciate them. Let's move on to what's coming. I'm going to bring Anas back up on stage here. Sir, what is coming?
GM. I think we have Zoeb also waiting. Is he there? Just check once. Yeah.
We'll see if he appears. I'll add him on stage.
Oh, sure, for sure. And yeah, a huge update, and things are flowing in the direction that everyone at Flash actually wanted to be. So basically, the first and the most important integration that we are all working towards is to get on Camino as well. And as I said before, everything is being worked in the direction of getting FLP as much integrated as possible across Solana DeFi, and Zohib is tirelessly working in that direction in terms of making sure the program is updated as well. Zohib, you want to add something in that direction?
Yeah, for sure. First off, kudos to the team to kind of pull off all of the other stuff whilst we make progress towards margin engine V2 and other integrations. And one of the most recent things on that was that we listed oil. And then we had like quite some stuff to deal with in terms of the oil's price action and the pit feeds going across. But that sadly ended up breaking composability for FLP2 in some sense. Devin was here earlier from LoopScale, and then we had to figure out a solution to make sure that new listings don't break composability. So that's like that's the caveat of working on the front lines. You ship stuff, and then you've got to make sure that it kind of retains backwards compatibility. And that's what we've been working on. In terms of adding up new features, we have to always make sure that things don't break and things flow smoothly. And that has been like catching us up on a lot of fronts. And we expect the SIMDs to be in time. We've got the feature gate activations back in line on Solana. So we are expecting an increase in transaction size to kind of really boost us. Like we're here with tied hands. Like there's not much we can do given the constraints. So we are working actively to make sure that we maximize capacity on our end, and then also kind of hope for all of the other improvements to come in time, so that we are able to maximize impact. But yeah, otherwise we are all working on obviously adding capacity to list more markets. SPY and DXY are the biggest interesting stuff on the horizon. And also FLP or FLP price feed or redemption rate price feed from PIT enabling far wider DeFi adoption. So those two are on the forefront. We also kind of work out the specifics of margin engine V2, taking a lot of inspiration from Gains network, whose LP has performed absolutely crazy. So they are one of the most performant pool-to-peer platforms with absolute returns to the LPs. So the whole pseudo funding mechanisms that they've got are something we're looking to emulate with margin engine V2. So that's pretty much it that we've got on our end. And yeah, small tweaks here and there all the time.
Yeah, and a couple of smaller updates as well, because recently, when on the during the weekend when the markets went off, I think a lot of people wanted to see the market timing when the markets would go off. So hopefully we would add that feature on the UI, which will basically give you an idea of when the markets are going offline or online. And also we've
Yeah.
been going through a interesting discussion with Pith to get 24/7 feeds, 24 by 5 feeds. Actually, the weekends are off everywhere, but taking inspiration from Robinhood, which basically allows you to trade overnight, pre-market, after-market trades on the market. So we are looking towards to enable that on Flash, where basically irrespective of the market timings, you can trade stocks or commodities over the day. So that has been something we are working. We can't give any timelines on that, but it is on our minds. Along with that, yeah, the new earn page is still under work. It will basically give you a very neater view of what how you deposit on FLP and how you manage your positions, because till date we didn't had a portfolio page if you had multiple deposits across Flash's liquidity pools. So yeah, a lot more underworks. We have a small deck, so we try to keep concise information here in terms of what is to come. So definitely, and the next thing is also expect the draft for Futaki proposal 2 to be up on Flash Labs this week. It's a very, very interesting proposal, and I'm sure it's gonna put a lot of people standing up on their feet by reading it. So, very interesting to bring that in front of the holders. So, and
It's always very contentious for sure.
it's gonna be contentious.
That's
And
what-
you,
yeah,
you,
that's what
you're
Flash
gonna have
Labs
a
is for.
hard time explaining that as well.
The few dogs are hungry.
What the SPY and DXY, those are the two listings that we're, obviously moving towards. What was the other? Was that the only two that we were moving towards that we had gotten kind of clear confirmation on?
As of now, these two are the things, and these two are assets, and we are working to analyze the risk on those assets as we did for oil. And once we have that, then you will have the link on DevNet to test first, and then if you give us a green light, we go on production. So nothing
Yeah,
else.
absolutely. The janitor, if any testing goes wrong, I'm just letting you know it's the janitor's fault. And then the updated earn page, I have seen it. It's beautiful. I am super excited for that. It's just a much needed, upgrade that makes it so smooth, and the flow is amazing. Once you see it, you'll understand what I mean by it. All right. Well, that wraps it up for what's coming. I appreciate you guys coming on stage. Anything else that we should know?
I think what I would say is just be on your edge of your seats, because in a very interesting Kiyotaki proposal is on the way.
Yes, it is. It's going to be fun for me to explain to everybody.
Yep.
I'll do my best, guys.
For sure. And I actually, the relationship that we have with FAF holders, it's more on the side of we are working and these are the board members. So very excited to bring the proposal in front of board members to discuss.
All of our board members will know. We'll have a lengthy discussion in Flash Labs. Meet us there.
Yep.
All right, let me bring Rakshit back up. And we really appreciate you joining. Anything to add, Rakshit, before we let them go?
What are we most excited about that's coming? I think we are finally getting rid of the questions that when market hours open, when trading live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the things I'm most excited about is obviously the XPY, our new listings. That's what I'm really excited about. Oil market was huge for me. And then the thing that kind of puts the icing on the cake is Margin Engine V2. That is just going to knock it out of the park. We're going to have 200 plus potential listings on Flash Trade, and it'll be that massive improvement, that massive next step that really pushes it over the edge and makes Flash Trade the very, very competitive and also compelling platform, not only in the Solana space but across the crypto ecosystem. So everyone should really look forward to a Margin Engine V2. I know I saw Nas set up really quick there. Wasn't sure if he wanted to add his 2 cents, but that's it from me. I just wanted to say thank you all for watching. We're continually improving Flash Hour, trying to bring you the latest and greatest from not only the ecosystem news, but also from Flash Trade and Flash Trade partners. Anything to add, Rakshit?
Nope. I think there was a couple of tricky questions for Devin. Panda asked when 10x leverage on LoopScale for FLP. There is a guy, some digits. He suggested maybe he needs a 4x leverage for a better mic / Wi-Fi.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's it, we're going to end it here. We appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Yep. Any closing thoughts on us? Nope. All. Bye-bye. Thank you everyone for joining.